Hey, come on. Ugh. Squeaky, it's not working. Waiting for your scream to go live. Oh, there's the chat. Yay! Hello, chat. We are live. We haven't started yet, though. This is our starting soon screen. Sit here for a while. Hello. How's it going, Krister? What's up, dude? We got around here. Killer Kitty, hello. No barbarian commercials? I mean, I have barbarian commercials. I can give you barbarian commercials. Do you want to see one? What, Squeaky? He's jealous. He's already jealous. I sat down here and he's jealous. Come on. What? What? TV Lore, hello. Funky Shark, what's up? Lord God. MC Tasman, sup? You guys have 21% VAT in the Netherlands? Holy freaking crap balls. I can't really say any more because I'll be getting into politics and people will not like me. It's so hard to keep my mouth shut sometimes, I swear. Yes, the cat is on my desk, always on my desk. Jay Tyler, what's up? How you doing? You had it open in 2 tabs? That'll give you an echo, man. No, I mean, what are you gonna do about shipping costs? What are you gonna do about VAT and stuff? You can't do anything about it, you know? It's like, you get quotes and they're like, this is what it costs. And you're just like, okay, that sucks. Yeah, that does suck. There's nothing we can do about it. That's literally what it costs. And we're like, okay, but you realize that some people are gonna pay as much for shipping as the actual book costs. Yeah, that's just the reality of it because it's crazy expensive, right? So it's like, okay. So then you're like, well, you could just charge people with the shipping costs, right? Or you could, some companies, what they do is they will increase the price of their products to hide the cost of shipping, right? And they'll just, it's financial, you know, they move the numbers around, you know. So instead of paying $30 for the book, you pay $50 for the book or something. I don't know. And then the shipping is like $10 shipping, and people are like, wow, we got a $50 book and it only costs $10 in shipping. Ah! What you don't know is that the people in the US paid disproportionately for that little number shifting, whereas folks international, they got the deal, right? But most of your customers are in the US, so like 90% of your customers overpaid so that like 10% could get lower shipping costs. So we didn't do any number shuffling, we just simply charged people what it was going to cost and called it a day. And then that you can't do anything about. That's just, sometimes it's expensive, sometimes it's not. I think there are certain countries where book VAT is nothing, and then others where it's like we have a VAT chart that our fulfillment partner gave us. It just talks about that kind of stuff. So nobody got charged for shipping yet because nobody has been charged for shipping. Shipping will be charged in the pledge manager after the Kickstarter is done. That's plastered all over the Kickstarter page. Literally, it's like everywhere. What's up, Swing Ripper? Oh yeah, we are doing a giveaway today. You'll win a copy of End of the Fae, or DM Lair store credit. We always have a giveaway on our streams. It's just what we do. My dog is going nuts. Dog, I just took you outside. I don't know what she wants. William Rob, what's up, dude? Tender Warrior, hello. David and Dragons, yo. Keith Rawson, what's up, dude? Roll for Tarako. You did catch one live. It's very live with my co-pilot Squeaky here, as always, because he's super jealous, super jealous. But you know, him being up here when I'm live streaming is not that big of a deal. When I'm actually trying to do like work on my computer and other stuff, and he's up here bothering me, that's a problem. But live streaming, I'm just sitting here. I'm not really, don't need to use my hands or anything, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Shipping just got crazy expensive all of a sudden. I wonder if it's one of those. There are certain things that once the price goes up, it never goes down again. And then there are other things that seem to be more elastic, you know? Don't rub against the camera. See, this is the thing. You can't rub against the camera. Some things are elastic and other things aren't, and they just sit there and they're like that forever. I don't know. What did I just tell you? You're not listening. You're not listening. Jeez. That's not an American mantra. That is a human characteristic. That is a human trait. Persistent and prevalent in all humans everywhere. And that's true. Shipping is a pain. I have a little Etsy store and I feel like I'm ripping off people just for shipping. You're not ripping people off. Shipping is what it is. If people want it, they have to pay for it to be shipped. Like, you can't subsidize that out of your product, because then you'll go out of business and then nobody will get anything. Like, that's the choice you have to make. Okay, I can not charge you what it's costing me for shipping, and then I will lose money and I will go out of business. Or I can charge you what it's costing me for shipping. I can stay in business and you can get cool products. Like, nobody wins if you put yourself out of business. Nobody wins. If you do not price your products and your services appropriately, you will go out of business, and then no one wins. You don't win, your employees don't win, and your customers don't win. You have to price your products appropriately. Otherwise, everybody loses. That is life. Now, some people don't understand that, but that is the way it works. That is true. PDFs have no shipping costs. PDFs, I don't like PDFs though. I personally want that physical book in my hands so I can read the darn thing. I don't like staring at screens. I never have. I'm an old dude, you know, I'm like in my 40s, so I'm like old school or something, I don't know, but I want the physical crap, you know. Freight Train says they even talk about this on Shark Tank. One person was losing money because they didn't charge the correct amount for shipping and went into the red fast. Yeah, because they're morons. Like, they're just idiots. They don't think it through. Like, I have a massive spreadsheet with multiple tabs with calculations and all these types of things that I use to plan out these sorts of projects, you know, and my entire goal is like, well, I was gonna say my goal is don't lose money, and that's not true. My goal is to make money. Obviously, it's a business. If I break even on everything, then that is not good either. But if you're going in the red, then things get very bad very fast. I'm like an old dude, says the millennial. I am technically a millennial. Simpaticos, what's up, dude? You can't not charge for something you're charged for. Shipping is one. Right, that's the way all businesses pass down their expenses to the consumer. That's the way it works. Every single company everywhere, if they're paying for something, what is going on with my dog? Will you relax? Calm down. She's wandering around, hitting her head on stuff. All companies everywhere pass on their costs to the consumer, one way or another, whether you know it or not. Every company everywhere, you are paying for it somehow. Whether they charge you directly, they might be getting some sort of subsidy from the government and you're paying it through your taxes. It doesn't matter really how it works. You are paying for it one way or another. Nothing is free. It's just a matter of smoke and mirrors and how you can paint the picture, if you can shuffle some numbers around. It's the way it works. Yes, you will be charged for shipping in the Pledge Manager after the Kickstarter closes. A survey will be sent out by Kickstarter, and part of that is collecting the shipping. Kickstarter does not make the mechanism for charging shipping in Kickstarter is horrible. It is absolutely horrendous. It's poorly implemented. It's like draconian. And part of the reason that it probably hasn't gotten any updates and any love is that almost nobody charges shipping through Kickstarter. Almost everybody uses a pledge manager, or if you're a really big company like Reaper, who does like Reaper Bones and stuff, which I always back. If you're a really big company like them, you have your own pledge manager. Like they do their own thing. I think every time I've heard of somebody charging shipping through Kickstarter itself, it's been accompanied by a horror story of why it went so very bad for them. So I don't think very many people do it. All right, we're gonna kick this off. I have sat here and just whatevered for long enough, which is what we're gonna do when we start. But let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Looking to master the art of running a role-playing game? Look no further than The Secret Art of Game Mastery. Now available on Kickstarter. Whether you're a new game master looking to learn the ropes quickly, or a veteran seeking new tips and tricks to elevate your game, this guide has got you covered. Say goodbye to feeling overwhelmed by the ins and outs of RPGs, and say hello to becoming a confident and skilled game master. In The Secret Art of Game Mastery, the DM Lair team has distilled over 100 years of real-time game master experience into one easy-to-use book, with advice on planning sessions, engaging your players, making combat more fun, and more. The Secret Art of Game Mastery will become an indispensable tool in your GM toolkit. Furthermore, the two companion books, The Secret Art of Preparation and The Secret Art of Note-Taking, offer guidance and templates as you craft your campaign and adventures, making it easier than ever to capture important notes and plan future plot points for your games. Level up your game in any system or genre with The Secret Art of Game Mastery. Click the link on the screen to back the project now.
All right. Hello, welcome to the live stream. We have officially begun. We're just chilling, hanging out today, answering questions and stuff. So throw your questions in the chat. I'll grab them and we'll just talk about D&D or Pathfinder or RPGs in general, or how your players did this or that or the other and you need help. Whatever, we're just gonna do that. Somebody asked about the voiceover in that ad I just played. That was me, dude. I do this perfect British female voice. It's like, it's spot on. No, she's like a contractor that we got to do it. So yeah, she did that. So she's a British female. That's who she is. Yeah, I don't remember her name. I do remember her name. But anyway, yeah, it's a voiceover. And she has actually done voiceovers for... When I was looking at her portfolio, she has done voiceovers for some pretty big brands. I don't remember exactly which ones. So she probably does a lot of them. Voiceovers are pretty quick. For something like that, you can do those voiceovers pretty quickly. So that means you can do a lot of different stuff, right? If you're good at it. You go into the studio for 8 hours and you get some work done. Simpaticos knows my female voices are spectacular. I'm so good at my female voices. Are they better than my actual voice? Maybe. All right. The Pathfinder 2 remaster. Oh, we'll get it. I can talk about that a little bit. I'll display my ignorance for you briefly before I move on. This is what we're gonna do. I'm going to do some sleazy plugs, and then we're gonna jump into Q&A. First of all, if you haven't backed our Kickstarter, you should go check it out. It is amazing. And our early backer specials are ending tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday, August 11th is the last day to get the early backer pledges. We got 2 tiers where you get all of the special edition leather covers. That's the one tier. And there's another tier of all special edition leather covers plus the Game Master screen. Those 2 tiers right now have early backer pricing. You literally save $40 if you get one of those tiers right now. But come Saturday, those tiers will both increase by $40, and you'll pay more if you want to get the special edition leather covers, the whole collection, like all 3 of them. So right now you save a crap ton of money. Saturday it goes up. So if you want to get in on that, now is the time to do that, because time is literally ticking because we're turning those things off. We're gonna, that's the way it works. So anyway, go do that. It's cool. What else I gotta do? We're doing a giveaway today. Hard copy of Into the Fae. It will be signed. It will be signed by my cats? No, by me. I will sign it. I will send it to you. It will be of our first print run of our very first Kickstarter. signed by me. Or you can get, obviously, if you already got it and you don't care about another one, you can get store credit on the DM Lair store as well. So go click the giveaway crap. It's free. It's beautiful. And okay, now we're gonna do shout outs for our wonderful patrons. Patrons. All right, all of these wonderful people that you see on screen right here are our lovely patrons that help support all of the content that we create. For instance, right now, you are watching a live stream, and I'm going to answer your questions, and I'm going to give you 2 hours of quality entertainment, which you can only get because our patrons are so generous. Some of you are like, Luke, shut up, dude. We also do all of our free content, the videos and stuff. We have free resources on the website, thedmlair.com. You can go out and get free Game Master resources for your games, 100% free. And we also have our premium resources in Lair magazine. All of DM Lair patrons get Lair magazine. It's beautiful. It's spectacular. Every issue is like 50 pages, at least 50 pages of Game Master resources. And we don't put fluff in our publications. It's literally 50 pages of stuff you can use in your games. And the formatting is designed by me to be easy to reference and easy to use in your games. I am so sick of getting RPG books that are difficult to read. They're difficult to reference. They're difficult when you're actually running the game. I literally got one the other day and I was reading through it, and it is written in a way that is not optimal for users. And but anyway, our publications are optimized for usability. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I'm gonna go to the next screen here. Whee! All right, all of these wonderful people you see right here in red pay me more money to read their names on screen. So I shall do that right now. I guess the correct way to say that is they support us at a higher level, and out of our appreciation, we read their names. I mean, literally, yes, that's true, but they also pay me more to read their names, and so that's what I do. So you take that, you parse that however you want. Adam B, Alex S, Alexander O, Alexis S, Amanda W, Ambers, Andrew P, Angelique K, Art Soccer, Arutha, Ashley, Black Wolf, Bradley H, Brandon A, Brian O, Brian the Lion, Cat, Chad F, Chad K, Christine B, Christopher G, Clay W, Colin W, Contra Gravy, Dan S, Dazwood Up, David S, David W, Derek E, Dominique S, Don D, Doug, Duty K, Dungeon of Terra, Dutch, Ed R, Edward B, Edward L, Mfrabo, and Dorian72, Eric B, Flux Forest Brew, Gabion, Gene A, Generic Throwaway, Goliath Cleric, Greg P, Gregory H, Guapo, GVTM, Harlan S, Heart Ungaled, Helltong, HLD, Iron Cascade, It's Baobon, Izzy T, Jackie Pizza, Jacob D, Jake L, Jacob K, James L, Jan F, Jennifer M, Jessica J, Jim B, Jim P, J Long, Joanne P, Joe E, Joel J, John A, John P, John the Wicked, Jonathan F, Jonathan V, Jordan A, Joseph H, Joseph W, Josh M, Josh S, K, Colon, Killsaber K, Kirby, Crystal S, Curryclaw, Laura L, Lionheart, Linda, Matlock, Mama Dragon, Matthew C, Mighty Loki, Mirostal, Mitchell, Mo 20s, Moon, Mordaken, Mr. Owl, Mr. Lincoln, New Nerd with Glasses, Nicholas S, Neareth, Old Man Mage, Pancakes, or Panzax, holy crap, I'm just calling you Pancakes, I'm sorry. Penguin Butt, Pethnick, Pivotal, Pork Chop Bacon, Psycho John. I swear that guy submitted his name on purpose so that I couldn't pronounce it. That's messed up. The Puppet Master, Quinthemo, Randy B, Rebar, Renner C, Robert J, Robert N, Russell L, Ryan, Saul R, Sakura, Saul, Samuel M, Shadow, Shane L, Sheila A, Simfan, Soul Bora, Gaming. I think that's supposed to be all one. Son of a Sofa Man, Soul Knight, A Stan the Man, Stephen G? Stephen G. I got two of them. One of them's mad at me. Stephen T, Steve L, Steve S, Sturm, Tactical Tokens, Terran, Terry V, The Three Quarters Hospital, The Old DM, The New Bad Ombre, Thomas F, Timothy T, TK, Tom T, Travels the Lost, Trinity Series, Tyler R, Unalloyed, Undying Warlock, Victoria Q, Vladimir S, Walt O, Wesley K, William C, William D, Yoel R, Zachary J, Zombie Trami. Whee! All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. I love my patrons. Thank you all so much. I appreciate the support. And here we go. Questions. All right, we're doing questions now. They bribe Luke. Yeah, I mean that's literally one of the things on that patron tier is that I read your names off in the live stream. I mean, it's literally there, and I know for a fact that I have patrons that the only reason they got that tier is to have their name read off out loud. So yeah, I do it. Somebody asked about the remastered, the Pathfinder 2 remastered thing or something. What are my feelings on it? I mean, I don't really have any feelings on it. I'm pretty neutral on it. They're putting out a remake of Pathfinder 2. My understanding is they are stripping out of it anything that is related to the open gaming license, the SRD, whatever SRD version we're on, so that in the future, just in case Wizards decides to do something crazy again, which isn't unfathomable, they're going to be clean and don't have to worry about it. So my understanding is they're stripping all the junk out so that they don't rely on the OGL, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to be transitioning to the Orc, which makes sense because Paizo paid a lot of money to have the Orc drafted and made. So my understanding is then they're going to have to strip out of the core rules, stuff that has to do with anything that Wizards might claim as IP in the future and have a big, problem with, right? And then they'll divorce themselves completely from that and just be able to rely upon their own IP and things that, are publicly available and you can't argue about, and then use the Orc and stuff. So that's what they're doing. I think they're removing stuff like alignment. Alignment is coming out, and other stuff, I don't know. Anyway, the changes sound like they are so... I got cat hair on my keyboard. The changes sound like they're fairly minimal, in so much that, like, if you already have the Pathfinder 2 books, like, you would be out of your mind to buy them again because there's ostensibly very little changes. Now, it's possible that they're going to go and clean up some... if they had some errata, they might go clean that stuff up. If through however many years Pathfinder 2 has been out, there's been some feedback that certain things need to get cleaned up or tweaked a little bit, I would imagine they're going to do that. Like, why wouldn't you do that as part of republishing them? So I imagine you'll see a few changes here and there, but it doesn't sound like they're that different. I'm not super well versed on this topic, honestly. My head is in the ground. I'm too busy working to keep up on news. And I used to get an email every week that gave me news items, and I don't get that anymore. I don't get that anymore. I've been meaning to ask why I don't get that anymore. I'm gonna have to send that email because I've been not getting it. Anyway, so I don't keep up the track. So anyway, those are my feelings. I am completely neutral to it. It doesn't impact me. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't seem, whatever. I don't know. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you. Next question. Let's see. I'm looking through chat for questions. Have you seen the Starfinder 2nd edition news? No, I haven't. Let's go. Let's see. Are they releasing a Starfinder 2nd edition? Starfinder 2E. Let's see. Starfinder 2nd edition is coming. Announced 8 days ago by Paizo. Ooh. I've never played Starfinder. So in 2017, they released Starfinder, and now roughly 6 years later, 7, something, they're going to do out Starfinder 2. Okay. The playtest comes out next summer. Okay. Cool. I'm not going to read the whole article, but that's interesting. Okay, cool. Thank you. I now know that it's happening. I appreciate that. Can you sign up to the higher tier and not have your name read? You could. You're gonna have to send me a special message, and the problem is these lists that I put here, they are many times automatically updated. So even if you ask me not to read your name, there's a good chance your name's gonna get slipped in there, and there's very little I can do about it. I have two. This has got to be automated. If I don't automate this, I can't keep this up to date. So I cannot guarantee that your name won't be read. Just open disclosure. Let me see. You talk a lot about how RPG products should be simple and rules light. Yet you run Pathfinder, a relatively crunchy system. How does Pathfinder remain easy to run while being complex? It's not that complex. If you've like, people always are like, Pathfinder 2 is crunchy and complex, and I'm like, dude, I played D&D 5th edition for 10 years. I go to Pathfinder 2 and it's mostly the same. There's a few other things. There's a little bit more complexity, but the majority of the complexity is because it was new. I wasn't familiar with it. So of course it seems more complex. It's not that big of a deal. And frankly, the added complexity that I have found for the most part for Pathfinder 2 has been the things that 5th edition didn't talk about, but yet every game master had to make a house rule on, right? Look, can we sleep in heavy armor or not? 5th edition had no answer to that. So every game master had to make their own house rule about whether you could sleep in heavy armor or not and get the benefit of a long rest, okay? And so Pathfinder 2 just says, here are the rules. Yay! Okay, so there's a point, you guys, like, you know, you could say it's rules light, but if your players all have these questions and you're constantly having to house rule and make things up, you know, and then try to remain consistent, like, is it? Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like coming from D&D 5th edition, like Pathfinder 2 is a little bit more complex, but I don't. The biggest way that I have found Pathfinder 2 to be more complex thus far is the amount of conditions you have to track. However, so far in my gameplay, there's a handful that come up frequently and the rest don't come up that often. So I don't think that's actually going to be that big of a deal, but I don't think it's that much more complex than D&D 5th edition. That's my personal feelings. I'm not having any trouble with it. Now that I've run it a little bit and I'm getting into the swing of things, it's not that big of a deal. I think its complexity is overconflated, and I think it gets over. You want to know the truth? Here's the truth. Most people running D&D 5th edition aren't even following the rules. They aren't even following the rules. I've played in games where, like, I've played in games and I've observed games being run, and it's labeled D&D 5th edition, and if they didn't tell you it was D&D 5th edition, you wouldn't even know, because they almost never use the rules. So if you come from a game where you never use the rules, and you go to a game like Pathfinder 2 and you're like, okay, now we're gonna use the rules, of course you're gonna think it's crunchy and complex. So, like, you can't, it's like, dude. And that's true. I've been in games. I've been in games where we use the rules for D&D 5th edition. Other games where you just don't. You just don't use the rules. Like, I was in a, yeah. So that's part of this comparison that we get, saying that, like, the Pathfinder 2 rules are super complex, is that I don't know. My gut feeling is that there is a vast swath of the D&D 5e community, and I don't know how many. I'm conjecturing. There's probably a vast swath that don't even follow the rules. They don't even use the rules, and they just make crap up. So of course, any other system that you actually use the rules of is going to be more complex. Like, this is just, yes, hello, thank you. So I feel like part of the bad reputation some systems such as Pathfinder 2 get for being very complex and crunchy and rules heavy is because there's so many people that just don't even follow rules, period, to begin with, right? So I have that perception. I have that feeling. I mean, I could be wrong. This could be crazy, but I have a feeling that that's part of the issue that's going on. Where's my pen? So thank you. What was this one? This was Tuesday. All right, I got to do another one here. Bear with me. What rules have you found get skipped over the most? Inspiration. Like how inspiration works. Like, nobody in D&D 5th edition, nobody knows how inspiration works. Either they don't know how it works, or they intentionally don't run it as written, which is fair. If you don't want to use the rules as written, that's your prerogative, right? But I feel like a lot of people get that one wrong all the time. Like you were supposed to declare you are using inspiration and then you roll with advantage. The way a lot of people in 5th edition do it is they'll roll the die and be like, that number sucks. And then they'll be like, I'm going to use my inspiration. And then they re-roll the die. That's not how it's supposed to work in 5th edition. You're supposed to declare inspiration first and then roll both dice. That's how it's actually written in the game. And folks don't do that. Sometimes because they don't know any better. Other times because they decide not to. And if you don't know any better, then you're ignorant. If you decide not to, then you've made a conscious decision, and that's fine. Now in Pathfinder 2, it's literally roll once. If you don't like it, use the hero point to re-roll. And that's how it's written in that game. It's probably, I mean, if I were to conjecture, the folks who designed Pathfinder 2 were probably like, look at 5th edition, everybody just re-rolls it. They never just roll with advantage twice. And so they're just like, well, why don't you just make the game mechanic, you can re-roll it. And then, because apparently that's what people prefer, so just do it that way to begin with. Maybe not. Maybe they just decided to be different. That's cool too. Animaz a man, thank you for the $2 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. They say, holy crap, stop dropping truth bombs on people. I know, the truth hurts. People don't like the truth. What am I doing? Oh well, there we go. Where can I find a link to the Kickstarter? I mean, it should be in the description of the video for sure. Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna scan for some more questions. By the way, your shirt is awesome. Yeah, you like that? Michigan State pastries. Like this is like the logo for, it's similar to the logo for Michigan State Police, only instead of pastries, it usually says police here. And obviously there's not a big donut in the middle of it, right? This is my wife and I, when we go by this place, it's called Cops and Donuts. And when we drive by there, like when we go traveling, it's a couple hours away from us. We'll always go there and get something. I usually get a coffee, decaf, black, and then something else. So yeah, you grew up in Michigan? That's cool. Yeah, I've actually been mistaken for a trooper because I was wearing this shirt, you know, which is probably not a good thing actually, because there are some people that probably would have an adverse reaction to it. All right, let's look scanning for some questions here. Oh, Mick Tasman says, hello, most streamed D&D games. Yes, if you go on Twitch and watch streamed D&D games, the only reason you know it's D&D is because they told you, because most of it is just social interactions. They're just talking. The game rules are like, they're not even in the back seat. The game rule, they like rented a trailer and then they put the game rules inside the trailer, and then they locked up the trailer with a padlock, and then they hooked the trailer up to the car. And then they're all seated in the car. But if they wanted to, the rules are all locked up in the trailer. It's like, Anyway, my theory is that most stream games, they're trying to be Critical Role. They're trying, because it's like, oh, voice acting, and no, this is what they got famous, so let's try it too. I that's my gut feeling. Maybe they like that and they have fun and they're just doing it because they like it, but I suspect they think that's, I don't know. But I'm conjecturing, and you know, this is where people get upset. Luke, they're just playing the game how they like to play the game. And if that's true, that's fair. You know, don't get upset at me. Yes, Simpaticos brings up a really good point. This is actually probably, now that I've been playing Pathfinder 2 for a while, this is probably one of my biggest pet peeves about Pathfinder 2. I think this is my biggest pet peeve, and it has nothing to do with the game system itself. It has to do with the references in the rule books. Like, this really annoys me. I'll be like looking up a rule, and it's like, what does this condition do? Well, it does this, this, and this. Okay, I have to go look this up. I go find it. What does this do? Well, it does this. and this. Oh, I gotta go look those two things up. And so sometimes, not all the time, but it happens enough that I notice it and it annoys me, is you'll try to look up what something does and it references rules on different pages. And so you're going down like it's like a web. You know, you got to go down this rabbit hole and these different burrows and tunnels to find all the rule references. One of the things that I appreciate about the way, and this has nothing to do with the game system itself. This is simply an organizational decision about the game, right? And one of the things I appreciate about D&D 5th edition is mostly the rules are self-encapsulated. They're all right there together. Mostly, not always, obviously. Like, for instance, in a monster stat block, everything of how to run that monster stat block is almost always in that stat block, period, end of story. Whereas in Pathfinder 2, many times, I'm getting sent to go look at this thing or that thing, and then I got to go look stuff up in the back of the book, you know. Now, once you've played it enough, you know, and you know what those things do, it's not that big of a deal, right? And you're probably going to mostly memorize how that stuff works. And I understand why they organized it that way too. There's a couple of reasons you would organize it that way, as opposed to self-encapsulate everything. There's two really good reasons to do it that way, why you would publish your book that way. It has nothing to do with usability. It has everything to do with ease of making your book, like getting it done. So the two reasons you would do that. Well, the first one is if you have a rule that says this is what grappled does, and you write that rule 100 times in your book because you don't want people to have to flip the pages, then what happens is during your design process and playtesting and stuff like that, every time the definition of grappled gets tweaked, you have to update it everywhere. And there's automation and mechanisms you can use to update it, but if you miss just one, that could be a problem, right? And so defining what grappled is in one spot and one spot only is hugely beneficial for just ease of designing your book and doing your book, right? So that makes it easier to make your book. And the other reason is simply like it reduces the page count. Like, you know, if you had to rewrite a rule 100 times, that's going to make your book a little bit longer. And you have to do, if you have multiple things that you're doing multiple times, that makes your book bigger. So from just a standpoint of like, you know, the Pathfinder 2 book is already pretty beefy. If it were to like repeat everything and not have all of these references, then it'd probably be even beefier. So, I mean, I understand the reason for doing it, but that doesn't change the fact that from a user standpoint, and I'm really big on usability. It's one of the things I beef about on things is from a user standpoint, it does make it more complex to use. And that's just the way it is. So it's probably my biggest complaint about Pathfinder 2, and it has nothing to do with the game system. It's just the referencing and the trying to find stuff in the rules issue that we have. Fortunately, they put everything on Archives of Nethys, so you can just go type it and usually find stuff pretty quickly. And amazingly, this is really interesting too. Do you know how like in D&D Beyond, it's kind of like a meme now that you like the search mechanism is horrible. Like you can't find anything in D&D Beyond. It's miserable. I've found Archives of Nethys to be very good. Like the search bar, you can find what you're looking for fairly easily. A couple of times I haven't been able to, and I'll go to a Google search and I'll search for it. And then Google will tell me where to go in Archives of Nethys and I'll get there, you know, and so it evens itself out. But it's definitely better than D&D Beyond. The best search engine for D&D Beyond is Google. There you go. All right, looking for more questions. Oh, the Pathfinder 2E references always remind me of recursion. Oh man, when I was taking my programming class, recursion was so horrible. I hated recursion. Oh my word. I mean, I understood it from a theoretical standpoint, but implementing it was rough. All right, I'm looking for more questions. My son is playing a Moon Druid. Do you have any tips for managing wild shape at the table? We have a few character sheets made up for more common ones, but to see what is all available. I mean, I literally, yeah, Richard, I literally, when I, this has been a while, but I once had a guy who was a druid, and literally what I did is I typed out a list of all the different shapes that were available. And I did print out the stat blocks for the more common ones. But what I would do, dude, your son's 11, okay? So give him a list of the ones that he thinks are the coolest and literally tell him, look at your druid can shape change into 5 creatures right now. 5 of them. That's it. Okay, pick the 5 that you think are most cool. And then you print out the stat blocks for those 5. And here's the thing. He's 10 years old. He's 11 years old. All right. He at 11 years, kids are getting pretty capable, and he's going to be able to keep up and do the thing, right? But if you give him 50 options, his brain's going to overload. My brain would overload with 50 options. Start him with 5. Let him run those stat blocks for a while. He gets in the swing of things and be like, and then you can put some mechanism in your game whereby he learns other wild shapes, right? Like every level he gains access to 2 more. Something, put some mechanism that makes sense. Now, I recommend this because he's a kid, right? An adult probably be like, listen, you can tell if it's an adult, if I had an adult player, I would literally tell them, listen, if you're gonna wild shape into something, it is your responsibility to have the stat block. Period, end of story. I don't care. Figure it out. You're an adult. If you don't have the stat block, don't wild shape into it. But I'm not gonna tell a kid that, right? I'm gonna help the kid. But limiting options is very helpful. Okay, and so I would do that. I think that'll be fine, and he'll probably have a blast, and it'll be better than trying to pick from 50 different things and then getting confused and having the game get bogged down. What's the worst 5th edition class to play? Warlock. Warlock is a flaming pile of garbage. There is a reason. There is a reason nobody plays straight Warlock. Because it sucks. Warlock is a splash. It is not a class. That is a fact that has been demonstrated across 10 years of play. Warlock is hands down demonstrably the worst class ever. People crap on Ranger. No. Warlock sucks. When you only splash a class, you know that it sucks. It is a splash. You put 2 to 4 levels of Warlock into something, right, to spice it up and get all the low-hanging fruit. You never go straight Warlock. There is no reason to go straight Warlock. It is, I mean, okay, if you want it for the roleplay purposes, right, but barring that, there's no reason. There's no good reason. You can roleplay a Barbarian as a Warlock if you want to. You don't have to actually take Warlock. Warlock is front-loaded with no rewards for going to high level. Yes, totally true. It's like, sweet, I used my 2 spells and now I hope I get a short rest. I hate a Warlock. I hate it. It's like, for me, well, and the thing too is that Hex is almost always hands down the best spell for you to use because it lasts for an hour or longer and it gives you additional damage and you can transfer it from one enemy to the next as long as you don't lose your concentration. So I almost always save my spell slots for Hex. Like, why wouldn't you? It's really good. So never go full Warlock. Tropic Thunder. I don't know what that is. Tropic Thunder must be something famous that I don't know about. Any advice or tips on how to simplify things to run a game for a 4 and 6-year-old? Yes. This is how you run a game for kids that age. You throw out all of the D&D rules. Throw them out. Just throw them out. Throw them out. Throw them out. I'm going to tell you what you need. You need 2 things. You need 2 dice. I'm going to show you how to do this. This is how you simplify D&D down to the core, the very, very core. I'm going to tell you my simple system. It's super simple. All right. And you can run games for kids. And I'm going to explain it to you in about 2 minutes. Give me a second. All right. I'm getting the 2 dice you need. You need, each of your players needs 2 dice. Where's my other die? Oh, there it is. All right, bear with me. Super simple. I created this mechanism years ago when I had to run a game for adults, but they didn't know how to play D&D, and I wasn't going to explain it to them. So basically, you have 2d6s. You have 2d6s. This is all you need. Every single one of your players gets these dice, 2d6s. Okay, and the way you do this is so when you roll a d6, it's a curve, right? It's a bell curve, and the chances of getting a 2 is very low. The chances of getting a 12 is very low. But the in-between numbers, such as 4, 5, and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, all in between there, those happen a lot more frequently, right? And so what you do is you just say, okay, you know, I can probably let me pull up some super fancy advanced technology to help us walk through this and explain to you how to run this game. So we're gonna go to high-tech software right here. All right, you can see this. So this is the way this works. Your players, anytime your players, so have your kids make up, ask them, hey, what class do you want to play? You want to be a fighter, a warrior, a sorcerer, a wizard? What do you want to be? And they'll be like, oh, I want to be a fighter. Okay, you're a fighter. Cool, you're a fighter. What kind of armor do you want to wear? Plate. Okay, so I'm a fighter. Okay, I'm gonna wear plate armor. Okay, cool. All right. What do you want? I want to have an axe. All right, you are a fighter in plate armor with an axe. Name one other item that you have. I have a jar of eyeballs. Okay, cool. That's totally what a kid would come up with. They're gonna love that. Sweet. That's your character sheet. That's all you need. Oh, you need a name. You need a name. What's your name? Henry. Cool, Henry. Good job. Actually, I don't like the name Henry because there was a guy named Henry in Walking Dead, and I hated that character. We're not going to use Henry. I was so glad when Henry. Well, I should probably not say this as a spoiler, but I was so glad when Henry. I hated that character. Oh, I hated him. Little punk always got in trouble. Caused trouble everywhere. Okay, anyway, sorry, I had to smash him. Yolanda. Okay, there we go. Yolanda is a fighter in plate armor, wears an axe, and has a jar of eyeballs. Okay, excellent. So this is how you do it. You say that if you roll on a die, a 1 through a 4, there's a certain result, right? If you roll a 5, 6, 7, 8, there's another result. A 9, 10, 11, or 12 is a different result. Now, you can actually, I think what I probably did was, it's not a 1, it's a 2. I'm sorry. I actually think I did it something more like this. And then this would be through an 11. All right, so there we go. This is a horrible failure, right? This is a great success. And then, what do we have here? This would just be a normal success. This would be a good success. I'm just simplifying this. You can make up better adjectives if you want. And this would be a barely a success. No, that's not barely. This would be a it would be a failure, but not bad. There we go. That looks right. So this would be a barely succeeded. Succeeded, but barely. All right, there we go. And this is a normal success. I don't know. Something like that. This is the idea. You get the idea. So basically, and then you have them. So anytime the players want to do something, so you say, okay, Yolanda, you see a goblin in front of you, and the goblin is threatening you with an axe. What do? Yolanda says, oh, I try to convince the goblin to leave me alone. Okay, cool, roll your dice. And then the kid rolls the dice, and they get a 9. Oh, a 9 is a normal success. Oh, okay, the goblin, you intimidate the goblin, and the goblin leaves you alone. There you go. That's it. All right. And then they're in another scenario, they're like, oh, the goblin is bothering me. All right. I want to kill the goblin. Okay. You attack the goblin. And let's say that they roll a 3. That is a failure, but it's not that bad. Okay, you take 1 point of damage. And in this game, I think the way I did this is there was health, and you had 3 points of health. So you took 1 point of damage. Ooh, that's one out of your 3 points of health, right? Because you rolled a failure, and the goblin hit you. And then if they had rolled a 2, it'd be a horrible failure. So maybe the goblin hit you for 2 points of health or something, right? And you can give yourself more points of health depending on how you want to do it. It doesn't matter. But If you succeeded, well, then you killed the goblin. Or maybe you just hit it for once and he's lightly wounded or something. The normal success might kill the goblin. The great success might kill a couple of goblins, 2 of them that are nearby. But the point here is that you're really just, this is it. It's very, very simple. The players do all the rolling of the dice. The game master doesn't roll the dice at all. And you're basically just simplifying this down to its bare core elements. There's still dice rolling involved. There is still a game involved. But for the most part, the game master is just adjudicating and making stuff up. You know, you're narrating what happens based upon the dice rolls. Your players are deciding they want to do stuff. Let's pretend that Yolanda says, I want to take my jar of eyeballs and I want to cast a spell from them. Okay, cool. You know, make a roll, and then they roll an 11. Okay, it works. Their spell works. So it's very simplified. It's super, super simple. It's not complex. And this covers pretty much everything. Now, you're going to have to adjudicate and house rule and do stuff on the fly, but this takes care of almost everything. And for kids that are like really young, this could be super fun. Super fun. So this is like the core of how I would run like a D&D game for kids that are that young. I'm talking about 4 or 5 years old. Oh, dude, they can't handle rules and they just want to roll the dice. I was in a game once with a kid who was about 6 years old. Dude, he couldn't handle it, man. We were trying to play full D&D rules. No. Dude couldn't handle it. He'd come roll the dice and he'd run off and play or something. And his dad would call him back. Hey, it's time to roll the dice. He'd come back and roll the dice. He couldn't handle the full rules. So you don't want the full rules with too young kids, right? This will get you by right here. By the time they get to about 10 years old, they can probably take the full rules. I know I was playing D&D with 12-year-olds and they were fine. When my daughter and I started playing, I'm pretty sure she was around 11 or 12 and she handled it just fine. No problem whatsoever. So anyway, that is the very basic, very, very basic, super simple way to do that. Now, these numbers here, I just really made these up right now. I thought about this a little bit more in depth to come up with what the numbers should be. So I don't know if this is actually what I actually came up with, but I really just literally invented these right now to give you the example. So you might want to tweak these, but the idea is that they succeed more than they fail, because it is a thing in gaming that players like to win more than they lose. So you want the chances of success to be higher than the chances of failure, especially for kids, man. You're not trying to TPK your kids, right? You just want them to have fun. All right, so there you go. Get rid of that. Go back to my big thingy. Ooh, there we go. John Allison says, fun for kids. That sounds super fun. I'd play in that game. I literally ran that system right there that I just showed you. And that's the system. That's the system. It fits on one page. Like my system, if I were to sell this, it'd be like a 1-page RPG system. There you go. I ran this for my coworkers a few years ago. Probably like five years ago, maybe. I had a coworker who was having a birthday, Brian, and he said, Luke, I want you to run D&D for us. And this was for my entire team. I was a technical writer at the time. And he's like, I want you to run D&D for the entire team. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I think there were about 8 players, and only 1, maybe 2 of them had ever played D&D before. And so I was like, look, dude, you can't teach them D&D rules and give them full character sheets. That's ridiculous. Like, we only have a few hours to play anyway. And so, what's up, little guy? Little guy. He wants me to rub his belly. So you can't give him full character sheets. And so I literally designed that system. And we played it, and we had tons of fun. We had tons and tons of fun doing that. But the advantage of that is that it's so simple to explain. Explain it in like 5 minutes. People, write down the stuff they want. That your character sheet is like a note card, like a 4x6 note card. It only takes 2d6 to run the game, and then you can run the game. And it's super easy, and especially when you're running for a large group of players, it makes things really easy. And it also emphasizes or allows for lots of player creativity as well, because you can decide to do almost anything you want. There are really no limits. You can declare that you want to do a thing. I want to use my jar of eyeballs to see through the wall into the next room. Ooh, okay, cool. Roll some dice. and then we'll see if you can do it or not. Now, that game doesn't really have the concept of leveling or anything, but it wasn't intended to. That's like, you know, that's like, hey, we're at a party and we want to play some D&D, so let's just do something really quick, right? And you got a bunch of you. There you go. What kind of dice are those? I don't know. I got them off Amazon. They're like hollow metal dice. They were pretty cool. They were like, I was at a gaming convention. This was probably about a year ago. I was at a gaming convention and I was looking at these hollow metal dice and I was like, those are so cool. And they were like $60. And I was like, I almost bought them. And I was like, wait a second, let me check Amazon. And you better believe it, same exact dice, $20. And so I got them on Amazon. Yeah, this game system is more for like a one shot or something. I don't know. I don't think I would run an ongoing campaign in that system. It's like a one-time thing you do. All right, now I am looking for actually, you know what? We're gonna take a quick bio break, and you guys can, you know, watch an ad, and then go back our Kickstarter. Yay!
Looking to master the art of running a role-playing game? Look no further than the secret art of game mastery. Now available on Kickstarter. Whether you're a new game master looking to learn the ropes quickly, or a veteran seeking new tips and tricks to elevate your game, this guide has got you covered. Say goodbye to feeling overwhelmed by the ins and outs of RPGs, and say hello to becoming a confident and skilled game master. In the secret art of game mastery, the DM Lair team has distilled over 100 years of real-time game master experience into one easy-to-use book, with advice on planning sessions, engaging your players, making combat more fun and more. The secret art of game mastery will become an indispensable tool in your GM toolkit. Furthermore, the two companion books, The Secret Art of Preparation and The Secret Art of Note-Taking, offer guidance and templates as you craft your campaign and adventures, making it easier than ever to capture important notes and plan future plot points for your games. Level up your game in any system or genre with the secret art of game mastery. Click the link on the screen to back the project now.
Oh man, I gotta make that video longer. Woo! Alright, I'm back. What did Simpatico say? What did Simpatico say? Gotta find it now. I'm gonna go through until I find it. Little guy wants me to rub his belly. I don't want to rub your belly. What is your problem? All right, I'm gonna have to rub his belly. I want to know what Simpatico said though. Gotta rub this guy's belly. He won't leave me alone. Where's my cat cam? All right, come here. What is your problem? What? What? Little guy. What is your problem? What? You guys want a snack? You want me to give you a snack? Huh? Huh? What? Please. Yeah. Ooh. He's a big boy. Look at that big belly. Okay. All right. I think we have to give him a snack. My dog woke up. Yeah. Uh-huh. I gotta give my dog something too because she's going crazy. Look at her. Like, alright, I'm gonna give her one of her chews. She likes her choo-choos. Come here. here. You're going crazy. All right. There. All right. Dog is happy. Cats are happy. I can relax for a second. How many employees are on your permanent team right now? We have 2 full-time employees that work for us. Goliath Cleric, who was in chat a moment ago, and then Penguin Butt. What did Simpatico say? I want to know what he said now. He said he was talking some bullcrap, I bet you. I bet you he was, man. What a punk. Anyway. How do you keep engagement with people with attention deficit like teenagers or people with ADHD? I don't know. I just run my normal games, dude. I just run my normal games. I'm not gonna look at half of teenagers. The issue is they don't want to pay attention. They just don't want to pay attention. And they won't get off their friggin' phones. So if they don't want to pay attention, they'd rather do something else. They can go do something else. I'm not going to go out of my way to try to keep the attention of a teenager who like willfully just doesn't pay attention to stuff, you know. And if it's somebody with an actual legitimate issue, you know, I don't know. I don't have any good suggestions for that. I just try to run the games the best I can and make them fun and interesting and hope that works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I don't have any super stellar advice for you. But the biggest thing to help with people that aren't paying attention is to get their freaking phones out of their hands and off the table. Because if they're just on their phones the whole time, yeah, they're not going to pay attention to you. Good luck running a D&D game that is more exciting than all the bullcrap they put on your phones that like seriously screws with your head and messes with like, I don't know all the good words, but they intentionally design phones and things to keep your attention, draw your attention, be addicting, stimulate your hormones like endorphins and stuff like that. Like there's so much stuff that goes into designing phones and the apps on them and certain things about the apps. Like they're designed to get your attention and to keep your attention. And there are very, very, very smart people in the world using, you know, psychological bullcrap to get people to stare at phones all day. And if I think as a game master that I'm somehow going to outsmart all of those people who are conspiring to keep people's noses in their phones, I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna win. They will win every time. Any tips on how best to encourage 6 people who have never role-played before? I don't know. Start playing the game. If you've never played the game before, you just have them start playing it. And then set the example. My dog is just sniffing everywhere. She's looking for more. Look at her go! Look at her go! Can you hear her? Can you hear her sniffing? Oh, Simpatico said I was the worst with pop culture references. I have 0 pop culture knowledge. Oh, she's sniffing loudly. You probably can't hear her because I have a gate on my audio equipment. Anyway. All of a sudden, she ain't blind. Yeah, I mean... That's why she sniffs so loudly, because she can't see anything. Oh, I know what Simpatico said now. I've started to being snacks. Chips, pretzels, almonds. All right, more questions. I'm looking for questions. Oh, MC Tasman says, wait, No, everything is roleplay, not just the talky bits rant. I'm disappointed. You know, I know that there was a golden opportunity for that rant, but I'm kind of tired. I've had a long week, and the week doesn't stop. You know, in my to-do list for today, I have stage Saturday video. I'm still working on that. I'm almost done though. Script writing. I didn't get to the script writing. That didn't happen. Stage your free resource and your newsletter. That didn't happen. Do your finances. That didn't happen. The only things on my list, I'm gonna mark this down actually. The only things that I got to do that I was supposed to do today. I did my devotional in the morning. I did stuff for the Kickstarter, which I had to do. I scheduled a live stream. Now I'm in a live stream. And then I mostly got my Saturday video ready to go. I'm just missing a couple things and that should be good. Which is, that's actually that's very important to get that done. So, and the other things will happen a different day. Whoops, I just hit my monitor. Will happen a different day, I guess. What are you gonna do? Things always take longer than you want them to take. I have a question about vampire arcs. Okay, I might have an answer. Are the Kickstarter books going to be black and white, grayscale, or color? The interiors are black and white. They are not being printed as full color books. The interiors mostly have writing in them and templates for you to write in. The first book, The Secret Art of Game Mastery, is writing. It's text. It's information about game mastering and stuff. It's designed. You know the 6x9 books that you get? Let me show you. So this is an example of a 6x9 book that you get, and they are almost never in color. They're black and white because that's how they make books like this that are meant to be read. This Kickstarter is not your typical RPG book where you're getting a module or adventures or magic items or something, where it's game master guidance, advice, tips, and stuff like that for running your game. So the interiors are black and white, and there's artwork in the chapters, but like this isn't like the normal books we produce. It's different, right? It's instructional text essentially. Now, the other two books, The Secret Art of Note-Taking and The Secret Art of Preparation, there's guidance and there's stuff in there, but the vast majority of what you're going to find in those books are the templates that you can use as you make your own games, make your own campaign, make your own adventures, as you track what's going on in your game, as you track your future plot points, and you plan how you're going to bring things back around. So those two books are spiral-bound books. They're 6-ring binders. They have pages in them with all the content and information, but it's a 6-ring binder, so you can literally open them up, and the pages you've used, if you don't want them anymore, you can take them out, and then you can make photocopies and you can put more pages in. You can like literally replenish it and use them forever. And so that's why it's a 6-ring binder that'll open up and you can like replace it and stuff. So that's how those books are designed. These books are designed to be, those books are for like, you know, note-taking templates and stuff to help you design your campaigns and stuff. Yeah, it's not spiral bound. It's a 6-ring binder, I think is what you technically call it. It opens up. So there. Can you get your books in digital? All of our books are available as PDF, yes. If you did full color art everywhere, it would be super expensive too. Yes, it is. It's super, 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 super expensive. The UFO picture from the GM screen artwork inspired me. Advice on a system to run a whodunit in 4050s Roswell, maybe for a 2-shot. I mean, I don't know. I like Call of Cthulhu. I think Call of Cthulhu is pretty cool. That might work. I mean, you want a whodunit. Call of Cthulhu is probably somewhat good system for that, but admittedly, my experience with I have experience in certain game systems, but I am not the guy who has played every game system under the sun. I'm not. If I wanted to do a Call of Cthulhu or a whodunit in the 40s or 50s Roswell, I'd probably pick Call of Cthulhu as my game system, because Call of Cthulhu, the game, there is combat in the game, but combat is not emphasized a whole lot. Much more of the game is investigating, using your character's skills and things like that. Which is why when you say whodunit, I think Call of Cthulhu, because I think probably that rule system would lend itself very well to it. I also like Call of Cthulhu's game mechanic of rolling a 100 and then rolling under, you know, according to your skills. I'm not going to explain it all, but I think it's a cool game system. Hey, Dungeon Crap, what's up, dude? Welcome to the stream, man. Thank you for the $10 super chat. He's like, I gotta get his attention. He'll only see me if I super chat. So he's like, thanks, dude. Yeah, it was cool meeting you at Gen Con, man. And thank you, man. Yeah, our Kickstarter is doing really well. I'm very, very pumped. So thanks, man. I saw you on Twitter today, dude. Like, there was somebody that was bashing you about some stupid crap. I was like, oh, there we go. I said something. I responded to that somehow. I don't know. But yeah, that's what happens, man. I haven't had to mute that many people on Twitter, but there is this one guy that I muted. I forget his name. He was an ad. I don't know if he was just a troll, if he actually believed the bull crap coming out of his mouth, or he was just trying to get attention by like disagreeing with everybody about everything. So my dog needs to calm down. He's wandering around bumping into everything. The professor is in the house. All right, look at scanning for questions. Woo! I'd like to add how to actually write a darn adventure, but I guess I should just go and read the available for free adventures again. No. One of the very best ways you can learn to write an adventure is to go look at all of the adventures that are already published. That is 100% a good place to start. Observe what professionals are doing, you know, how you want to do it. Now, I will plug Lair magazine at this point, because we have lots of adventures in Lair magazine, and we design these adventures very specifically to be easy to use at the game table. I have other books, other modules and stuff that I won't show you them because I don't want to knock somebody else, but they're meant to be read. And if you wanted to use them at a game table and reference them, oh my gosh, you're like just parsing through walls of text trying to find the information. I really want people to start writing these RPG books in a way that is usable at the game table, easy for me to prep my game, but also reference and find information at the game table. So this is why I'll refer you to Lair magazine as something to check out, because we write our adventures and all of our other resources, but the adventures is particular in a very particular way that I mostly figured out and developed. I have a background in technical writing, and so communication is very important in technical writing. I designed how we write our adventures in a very specific way so that it's easy to prep and easy to run at the game table, reference at the game table. Most of the modules I have on my bookshelf, oh my gosh, they're not written in a way that is user friendly. They're written in a way that if you're just gonna read through it from beginning to end, there you go. That you're the audience. But if you want to like run that game, prepare that adventure, and then reference it at the game table, not written for that. It's not written for that, and that's sad. That's unfortunate. I don't. And the thing is too, I don't even know if they do that intentionally. I think they just don't know how, right? They don't understand that there's a better way to communicate that helps game masters, you know. When I can't find the information quickly, I make something up. That is actually a very good way to do it, Fred. Like my pet peeve. When I'm in a game as a player, and this literally made me leave a game once. The game master was always looking crap up. Always looking crap up. Now, it had nothing to do with not knowing the rule system, because this guy knew the rule system. I think he was trying to run a module or something. And he was always looking something up in the module. a pre-published adventure, and he's looking stuff up the whole time, looking stuff up the whole time, looking stuff up, nose in the book, nose in the book, nose in the book. And I'm like, dude, get your nose out of the book and run the game. You got two options here. Prepare better for your game session or make crap up. But run a smooth game. Run a smooth game, please. A smooth game is 1,000 times better than a perfect game that follows your module exactly any day of the week. And so, yes, make stuff up when you need to. Run a smooth game. Your eyes should be on your players, paying attention to your players, interacting with your players. Even if you're not talking, you should be paying attention to your players. Like you should not be nose in the book looking crap up. I try to minimize that as much as possible. Will we look up rules from time to time? Sure. Especially, I'm still learning Pathfinder 2. I'm going to look stuff up from time to time, but a smooth game trumps a perfect game every day of the week. Like I said, I literally left the game once because the game master kept his nose in a book, and half of the game session, we were waiting for him to look stuff up. It's horrible. It was this spiral of death. Sad is one word. A bloody nightmare is another description. Yeah. I can show you one example. This is like a classic example that I refer to of how you don't write adventures. Let me show you the classic example. It'll take me a second to find it. Bear with me. Okay, I have found it. This is from Tales from the Yawning Portal. And I'm not going to be able to pronounce this name. The name of the adventure is The Hidden Shrine of Tamoakin. And when I was reading through this originally a while ago, it occurred to me that this would be a nightmare to run this adventure. And let me show you why this would be a nightmare to run this adventure. I'm going to find you a good example of this. This is the perfect example. This is a perfect example. Okay. Look over here. This is where the room begins. This is one room. And it's talking about stuff, right? And then it continues onward and talks about more stuff. This is the same room. Just text. I'm sorry. Everything's backwards, so it's hard for me to do this. Walls of text. Walls of text. Walls of text. The wall of text continues. More and more information. More and more information about that same area. The same area. More information about the same area. 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 It continues. The same area. 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 And then there's a new area. That's one area. That's one thing. Walls of text. There are some bullet points here, so that's good. We do have some bullet points. And you got some read aloud boxes, that's fair. But it's just like walls and walls of text. Walls of text. Walls of text. That's classic example of like, it's not usable. You have to take extensive notes referencing that at the game table will be rough. Now the rest of it's better. There's a couple in here that are long too. I probably just showed you the worst example. But there's lots of the other rooms. Here's another one. Here's another big, huge one. This one takes up this page and then this whole, going the wrong way, this whole page here too. But it's like walls of text. And they got some bolding, so that's gonna help you a little bit. I'm not commenting at all on the adventure. I mean, the adventure might be fun, but the way that it's formatted and written just doesn't lend itself well to like running at the game table, I suppose. That's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make. They write these things without consideration for the poor game master who has to run that adventure. Oh. It's a usability problem, right? Have you ever run Dragon Heist? Yeah, I have one. I've run most of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We had to stop. I got through most of it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. There's one chapter in there that I had to homebrew a whole bunch of stuff because it didn't really give you a lot of meat. I didn't mind that because that's kind of what I do. But that could be a complaint, I suppose people might have about it. I liked it. Yeah, Dungeon Craft says Ben Milton's Questing Beast is an any nominated Waking of Willoughby Hall is a great primer on how to lay out an adventure. Bullet points. I might actually have that. He gave me a packet of stuff. Stand by. Oh, he did. Hold on. No. No, I don't have it. Somebody else gave that. They gave me some stuff, but that wasn't one of them, so I don't have it. I probably shouldn't review it on a live stream either before I look at it. Because Ben's a cool guy. I want to be nice to people. If I had to spend 5 hours parsing through a book to prepare it, I might as well just make my own adventure. Yeah. I can make an adventure in a couple hours. That's not a problem. I can't write it for publication. That takes about 8 to 10 hours. But I can create the framework of it in a couple hours, easy. And most of that time is finding the monsters I want to use. You do. He gave it to you, Luke. I was there. Really? He did give it to me? All right, now I'm going to go look again. Ha! Ha! I found it. All right, I did find it. He did give it to me. It was hiding in one of my bags. Oh, nice. Yeah, he's got a map with arrows pointing to it, bullet points. So if I look at the library, page 29. Oh, it even tells me the page it's talked about on. So this looks like this is an overview. I'm gonna guess that this is an overview of the different areas. The library has shelves full of arcane text. Searching can reveal this thing, when restless, when awake. Okay, so I got some basic information, and then on page 29, it tells me more about the library, I presume. And I'll go over to page 29. Page 29. Can't find it. Yes, the library. And it gives a whole bunch of bullet points and stuff. Yeah. Easy to find. And every single page repeats the map too. Every single page has the map on it. So you're not flipping around from page to page to page. And the map has the page numbers where to find everything too, to help you flip the stuff quickly. Yeah. That's pretty good. The simple fact that I could open up to this and understand what this was by simply glancing at it for the first time tells me that it scores high in usability. If I had opened up to this and been like, what the heck am I looking at? Then, you know, but you can instantly recognize what it's supposed to do. Yeah. Yep. That's cool. Good stuff. Have you ever run the flowcharts for One Night Strahd? Nope. Don't know what that is. Hi Luke, what's the craziest twist you've ever used in one of your games and how did the group react? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I have run games, lots of different games, lots of times. I would have to really think about that. I don't have any cool stories I can just swing about sometimes. I don't know. I have found the 5-year dungeon super useful for throwing together combat and exploration. Is there a similar tool for plot hooks and quest design? Well, I'm just gonna pull up what I use. I'll pull up my template that I use when I design my adventures, and then we'll kind of walk through it. And then I don't know how helpful it'll be, but we'll just take a look through it. And I will share my screen with you. Stand by. Just stand by, ladies and gentlemen, while I do this. All right, so this is the template that I use when I'm designing an adventure. I have a checklist at the top here. I literally have the five room dungeon stuff right here. And then I have this is my template. This is the template I use. And it's mostly, it's not exactly the template that we use when we publish things, but it's kind of close. The template and the way that we publish our adventures is based on this. But this beginning part is my adventure design checklist. All right. And a lot of this stuff I got from Stephen Glicker at Roll for Combat, because he did a live stream once about movie things that movies do that you should do in your RPG adventures. And I took notes and I put everything into the template. And so always be escalating. There should be escalation points. The 3-part structure. For me, the 3-part structure is fairly easy for me to accomplish. The thing that I think I need to work on for the 3-part structure is the setback. I need to incorporate setbacks more. Now, the thing is that if you're doing an adventure, now see, when I think adventure, I think of something that's going to be run in maybe 2 or 3 game sessions, right? And a setback might be a little bit more challenging to implement in one adventure. A setback is usually something that might span like an adventure arc where you have 3 adventures or something. But the setback is something that I am planning to implement more in what I do. And then I'm pretty good at this stuff in the climax. Set pieces, I think I do these quite frequently, but I want to be more cognizant of doing them. The terrain and environment, using that stuff, it's a good reminder. I usually do that. Reoccurring NPC, this is less for an adventure and more for like an adventure arc or an entire campaign. But the fact that you want to know, you want them to be dynamic, changing, and not be static. So there's a little point to remind me about that. Character goals. So this is something, characters, they have goals, and it might not be like their personal goals on their backstory, but it might be campaign goals, So how does this adventure progress their campaign goals, or their personal goals, either or the other, right? So in other words, you can have an adventure that's just kind of a throwaway thing. You go do it for fun. But when you can have an adventure that advances some goals that they have, it's probably going to be more satisfying. And then I left this stuff in here. A lot of the times, if I'm checking all of these boxes up here, I will get down to my 5-room dungeon props and I'll be like, I'm good to go. I've already done these things. But the 5-room dungeon, the essence of a 5-room dungeon is that you want there to be 5 rooms in your dungeon. The first room is the entrance and there's some sort of guardian. So it's probably going to be a combat. And then now at this point, it's not necessarily linear, but you're going to have a puzzle or a role-playing challenge at some point. Oh my gosh, they said role-playing. I need to change my template. Social interaction challenge. You can tell I copy-pasted this from somewhere because they wrote role-playing and I want to strangle them now because they just made me look like an idiot on a live stream. It's social interaction. You guys can all flame me in the comments. Thank you. A puzzle, or I just updated my template. A puzzle or a social interaction challenge. A trick or a setback. Again, that's incorporating some of these points from above. Climax, a big battle or a conflict, and a reward, revelation, or a plot twist. And so you want to have 5 rooms in your dungeon basically, and they should check all of these boxes of content. And this does a lot of things. It gives you a combat. It gives you some exploration as one of your pillars. It gives you social interaction as a pillar. And then it has like a setback, which is that whole, oh no, we're doing well, but then, oh no, things got worse. And then you got your big battle, right? Your climax. Oh yay, the final fight, and ooh, we won. You get your reward, or there's a plot twist. It's like, oh no, the druid was actually good and we killed her. Oh, that sucks. Dang. That's probably an overused plot twist, but it's a good example, I guess. And then I just do the thing. I'll plan out my creatures that I'm going to use. When I run 5th edition, I almost always use Tome of Beasts creatures, almost always, because they're just so much better than what Wizards of the Coast publishes, like by leaps and bounds. It's not even funny. So recently, apparently, Wizards has been like hiring Paizo people onto their design team. I mean, I'm waiting for them to start stealing away Cobalt Press people too, because their monsters are so much better. It's like, well, if you can't make your own good monsters, just hire the creators of good monsters from other companies. What do we got? Oh, some GM notes and stuff. The background of the adventure, any locations I want to mention with information about them. I'll flesh out my NPCs. I'll plan out random encounters. I usually don't use random encounters unless I'm going to. I use them from time to time, but it's always handy to have a few random encounters. You never know when you're going to need them. I almost never use them in an adventure, but the moment that I don't have some ready, I wish I had. You want to have your plot hook, your inciting event, details of the adventure, resolution. So this is a simple template. It's not very complex. Plot hook. So specifically in the person's question, you mentioned plot hook. I'm going to give you 3 tips for how to write a good plot hook. So one of the things that is a constant complaint or problem that game masters tend to have is that their players don't bite their plot hooks. They don't go do the thing that they prepared in advance, right? But the thing is that many times their plot hooks suck. And when your plot hook sucks, it's kind of to be expected that your players are not going to go do the thing. So when you design your plot hook well, you drastically increase the probability that your players are going to go do the thing. So there are 3 elements to a good plot hook. 1, your plot hook needs to have a motivating factor. There needs to be a reason for the player or the character to go do the thing, and that's very intentional. Things motivate players. There's always meta. So if your plot hook has something that you know your player wants to do, then they're probably going to go do the thing. Or if the plot hook has some motivation for the character, then, so for instance, they'll want to do it. So for instance, if I have a player who loves magic items. Cool. If I say that there's this adventure and it's in this crypt that is known to be full of magic items, my player is going to be like, I'm going there. I motivated the player. And if I say, well, this crypt, there's a necromancer in there that is doing evil stuff, and the character has something in his backstory about his mother being killed by a necromancer. Well, now I have motivated the character to go take care of that necromancer because they don't like necromancers. So you can motivate both player and character in your plot hook. So include some motivating factor in your plot hook. That's the first thing. The next thing about your plot hook is that you want your plot hook to be very clear. It needs to be very, very clear about what it is. Like if it's confusing or they're not sure what's going on or what they need to do, or what you're asking them, then they're just going to be like, well, I don't know, what are we supposed to do? Make your plot hooks very clear, very, very clear to your players. They got to know what's up and what they're supposed to do. And the next thing is you got to let them know where to get started. Let them know where to get started. This person over here has more information. The dungeon is over here. Let them know where to go or how to get started. If they're motivated to do it and they know what they have to do, but they don't know where to go or how to get started, then they're going to wander around, and they might lose interest. So motivate them, make it clear what they got to do, and tell them where to go, how to get started. So those are 3 things that if you do those, it's gonna make your plot hooks way, way stronger, and then your players are much more likely to go do the thing. Now, the other part of players that go do the thing is the social contract, right? Because there are players that will intentionally, once they smell a plot hook, they will go the other way, and they do this intentionally. And I have not really had any players like that, but I can tell you that if I were to have a player like that, he would probably not be in my game for very long, because that player is intentionally screwing you over, is what he's doing. There's no other way to describe it. Like, he knows that the game master spent time preparing something, and he's intentionally not doing that thing. There's no other way to view it than that he's screwing you over, and he's just looking like, oh, you spent some time preparing an adventure? I'm not going there. I'm going the other way. Yeah, I'm just not going to deal with that. So, I've never had that problem. And I was actually on Twitter talking to some people, and they were like, how long have you been a game master? You've never had players not do the thing. And I'm like, since high school, man. And I'm like kind of old. And they're like, I don't believe it. I don't believe that you've been running games and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I run an okay game, I suppose, with good plot hooks, and my players aren't jerks. Like, a combination between being an okay game master and having good players, you do pretty well. All right, I should probably go on a different topic. Do you run any Power by the Apocalypse games? No, I've never played that before. What advice do you give more experienced game masters versus the normal advice from videos like advice for the new DMs? So I ranted on this in my last live stream, I'm pretty sure. I get that question sometimes, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Every single time that I have been in a bad game, it has never been because they weren't using advanced game master tricks. It has always been because they weren't doing basic stuff. Basic stuff. And every time that I have been in a good game that has been very enjoyable, it's because they had the basics down. They were implementing the basics across the board and doing a good job at them. Maybe they had some advanced things they were doing. Sure, that's great. But they had the basics down. And I strongly believe that people are always like, well, what's the secret? What's the silver bullet? What should I do to make myself better and a better game master? And I don't want the basics. I've heard the basics. No, start doing the basics. Do them. It doesn't matter what you have up here. If you aren't doing them, it's worthless. So yeah, maybe on my channel and my advice, you don't get a whole lot of like advanced game master secrets. I don't need to use a whole bunch of advanced game master secrets. When you have the basics down and your games are solid, people have tons of fun. It's the 80-20 principle. So what I always say is like, if you have the basics down and you're running awesome games already, and if you're running awesome games already, then and you have the basics down, you're probably going to find other things you can do. They're just going to naturally come to you. But I would say that the vast majority of folks, probably the basics are what you need to focus on. They're what you need to focus on. Get good at the basics. Get good at reading your table. Get good at paying attention to your players. Get good at preparation so you don't have to refer to your notes. Get good at role-playing your NPCs. Get good at using their voices. Get good at talking in character. Get good at having a conversation with your players' characters and not having to read some stupid pre-written dialogue. But you need to get in the head of your monsters and your NPCs, know what their motivations are, know what they care about, and then role play them and react how they would react live in character at the game table. You should not have to have a flowchart of different dialogue options that you say when the players say a certain thing. You should get good at that. Those are the basics. Those are the basics. Be able to make eye contact most of the time and run your game and react and adjudicate. Know the rules, right? And know how to deal with problem players and know how to deal with things. You know, a lot of these soft skills. It's amazing the amount of soft skills that game masters really need to run smooth games too. Because, and this is something that's, so you know what soft skills are. Okay, so hard skills are like, I know the rules. I can create a good encounter. I know how to design an adventure. Those are like the hard skills, like the technical stuff that you can do. The soft skills are, if I have a disruptive player, how do I deal with that player? How do I diffuse the situation? You know, and can I do that, or am I like all clammed up and I'm afraid to address the situation? You know, how do I interact with people and how do I treat people? And how a lot of these things are social, right? Social skills, right? Huge, huge, huge. So I don't know. That's usually my response. Get good at the basics and you'll have an amazing game, and then you won't need me. And you'll be out there doing awesome stuff, and then you'll just ignore people like me and you'll be happy. Wow, somebody just said hello to me and I can't pronounce your name. I'm going to try though. Vuko Jebina. Hi. Mad Hatter says, agreed, mastering the basics never ends. I'm still working on mastering the basics. Like, that's all. That's all I do. That's all I do. That's all I do. I'm like, okay, narrative descriptions, describing stuff. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Describing rooms, describing combat, describing stuff. Let's describe. Let's keep it succinct but descriptive. Succinct but descriptive. And don't forget to do that. Okay, cool. Awesome. Right? Using your body language. Cool. It's everything. It's like the basics. You're just doing the basics. Making sure that I design my adventure as well. Making sure that I don't get lazy. Right? Like, this is just basic stuff. It's just focusing on the basics, and that'll give you an amazing game. Close? I got it close? Okay, well, cool. That's good enough. Why does Luke say necromancer? Because that's how I say it. I will say it. Necromancer, 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 necromancer. I can do this all day. This will actually be the easiest live stream in the world if all I have to do is say necromancer. I had to leave an advanced DM's game because of favoritism. Yeah, favoritism sucks, dude. Favoritism, this is why I follow the rules. It's one reason why I follow the rules. People be like, rule of cool, baby, woo! Yeah, but what happens when your rule of cool always applies to this one person or these two people, and the other guy never gets the rule of cool? He's gonna be pissed, isn't he? So I follow the rules. Even playing field for everybody, man. I'm making crap up. We follow the rules. Rules apply to everybody. Everybody's happy, right? So favoritism is one of the reasons. Like, you know, like classic example, right? You got the couple, you know, and let's say that one of them is the game master and the other is a player. And if you notice favoritism, you're not going to be happy about that, are you? So if everybody follows the rules, even playing field. A master doesn't become a master by focusing on the most advanced concepts. They become a master by mastering the fundamentals. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I have my PCs being followed by a shadow. I want to do a vampire hook campaign. I don't know what a vampire hook is. And I was thinking the shadow could be working for the vampire. Kills the priest in town. Took the PCs. Thoughts? Dude, have the shadows steal your character's shadows. That's what you do. The shadow trails the characters. He steals your character's shadows. And now your characters don't have any shadows. And the people in town think your characters are vampires. And now they got to get their shadows back. And stop the vampire. There you go. Instant, they're on it. They're going to do it. And it makes it, you increase the drama, you escalate it, you increase the stakes, right? You know, people are all like, they're vampires, kill them. No, we're not. Yeah, but you have no shadow. And then they're off to solve the problem. There you go. Question, is your adventure template available to non-US subscribers somewhere? I mean, my adventure template, I'm pretty sure we have it for free somewhere. I think. I'm not trying to hide it from anybody. I will right now, I will drop it in the patron layer on my Discord. That should help people, I suppose. And then maybe somebody can be nice to pin it or something in there. Wee! Let's throw that right there. Wee! My adventure template. There. Yeah, that should help. Oh, you think it's up on DriveThruRPG? It might be, but I have updated that template recently, probably a few months ago. I updated it, and I don't update DriveThruRPG. I don't even go on there anymore. So it's the most recent one is definitely not on DriveThruRPG. Do you have any motivational ideas to getting players to flesh out their backstories, or if they don't, can I make it up for them? Don't make up their backstories for them. If my players don't do backstories, I just don't care. They don't have backstories, whatever. I don't care about it. Backstories are mostly for players, but game masters also use them to flesh out their campaigns and adventures as well. They're very useful for that purpose. But I don't really pressure my players a whole lot to do backstories, but I do try to make it as easy as possible for them. And the way that I do that, I have a template for backstories. I'm going to show it to you right now. I'll pull it up and I will show it to you. I literally give my players a handout, digital, or where is this thing? And it has these questions on it. It's very simple. I tell them, answer these questions. Where was the character born? Where did they grow up? Who are the character's parents and what are their occupations? Are the parents still alive? If so, where are they and what are they doing? What was the character doing before they became an adventurer? Why did the character leave their previous life and become an adventurer? What did the character leave behind? What did they miss? What did they not miss? How did the character learn the skills and abilities of their adventuring class? What does the character want? What is the character willing to do to achieve these goals? What is the character not willing to do? What is the one temptation that would cause the character to fall from grace? What is the character's greatest strength and greatest weakness? So I literally give them a 2-page handout and I say, answer these questions. And this right here gives me enough information as a game master that I can do little things with their backstories and pull them into the game and stuff. And it also has enough information there to give them a decent backstory that they can use themselves to help inform their decisions as adventurers. Now, this backstory template, I think this is on my store. I'm pretty sure this is on the DM Lair store. I'm pretty sure it's free. I don't think we're charging anybody for this, so you can go get that. You know what? I'll just throw it in Patreon too. I'll throw it on my my Patreon Discord as well. Oh, I literally just give my give my players that and say fill it out. And if you okay, so oh shoot, I should probably not share that screen while I'm doing this. Whee! If you really want your players to make a backstory, then what you do is you make photocopies of that and then you bring it to the game and you put up a copy in front of every single player and you say, guys, fill out your backstory right here. We're all gonna wait for you. Thank you. And then they'll do it because they have no choice. If you like just say give it as take-home homework, yeah, the chances of them doing it might be low depending on your players. All right, I have 5 minutes left and I have to leave. My wife will kill me. Hard stop in 5 minutes. Oh, we have a giveaway going on, guys. Go sign up for the giveaway. We're gonna draw the winner to the giveaway very soon. We are giving away a copy of my adventure module, Into the Fae. It will be signed by me to the winner. It's from the first print run from our very first Kickstarter. And if you already have this or don't want it, then you can get store credit on the DM Lair store. We'll draw that winner in just a few minutes. So go sign up for the giveaway. Also, let's take a look at our Kickstarter too. We have a Kickstarter going on that you should go check out because it's really cool. And I'm not just saying that because it's my Kickstarter either. I would never do that. Shameless plug. I never do that stuff. Dungeon Craft says, take it from a teacher. No one does homework. Oh, nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look at it. We're going to look at the Kickstarter. Look at this. Whee! We're at 172,000 and it just went up a little bit. Yay. Yay. Go get yourself some cool books, guys. Go get yourself The Secret Art of Game Mastery. 3 awesome books. These right here, these are the special edition leather covers right here. Tomorrow is the last day to get the special edition leather cover collection bundles at a discounted price. You will save $40 if you get these either today or tomorrow. But come Saturday, you will not get the discount anymore. So what you're looking for, if you want to get that discount, is you want this tier right here. You get all 3 leather covers with the PDFs. If you get a hardcover, it comes with a PDF. It always comes with a PDF. Leather edition, leather special edition, beautiful hardcover, all 3 books. And then this is all 3 books plus the Game Master screen right here. And the Game Master screen has pockets on the back side where you can make your own notes and put them into the screen. Because these books are for any genre, any system. So, you know, we can't if we gave you D&D 5e notes, it's not going to help a lot of people. So it's just, you put your own notes in there. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. So that's going to be, today and tomorrow is the last day to get these things. So you want to do that before you can't anymore. And then everybody's very sad. So anyway, go check that out. Agile Monk says, Luke, friend of Alan and Sarah, best Kickstarter ever, all in. Cool. Hey, what's up, Agile Monk? How you doing, man? Yeah, Alan's a good friend of mine. That's Dungeon Coach, by the way. How do you come up with character motivations? You just think and use your creativity. I don't know how. You could probably copy other stuff. You could look at a movie or something and copy stuff and get inspiration from somewhere else. I don't know. It's like asking, how do I come up with an idea for an adventure? Well, if you can't come up with your own idea for an adventure, then you can probably copy something from somewhere else. or something. I don't know. I don't know. I usually don't have to answer that question. I mean, I usually don't deal with that creativity issue, so it's hard for me to answer that because I just think, like somebody's like literally somebody's like, well, how do I come up with an idea for an adventure? Or they're like, how do I come up with an idea for character motivation? And my initial gut response is, think of one. So I know that's not very helpful. What would you recommend from the DM Lair store that I could drag and drop into Curse of Strahd? We have an insanity mechanic. There is an issue of Lair magazine that has, so if we go to the DM Lair store, let's go find it really quick for you so I can answer your question. Stand by. Where is this? I gotta go up here. I'm gonna try to find the issue of Lair magazine that I'm recommending to you because I don't remember what it is offhand, so I'm gonna have to find it really quick for you. So please bear with me. I have to get to my storefront first. Okay, now I'm going to go to here so I can share this. So this is the DM Lair store. Lair magazine. Go over here. It's actually our most popular issue of Lair magazine right here. Sanity and Sabotage. Lair magazine number 14. This includes our insanity system. It also has 10 Aboleth variants and Aboleth spawn. It has Aboleth encounters. It has an entire adventure arc in it. It's probably like 60 pages, 70 pages, I don't know. But the insanity system could be very useful for Curse of Strahd. So you can get this over on the DM Lair store. If you just type into Google the DM Lair store, you will find it. And then you can go get it. We have a whole bunch of crap on here. We have, we have hardcovers available to you guys. We do. You can get Loot and Lore, Layers and Legends, Into the Fae. We have a whole bunch of cool crap on here. And then back issues of Lair magazine. Where's my stuff? Where's my button? You can get all issues of Lair magazine. You can get the bundles of Lair magazine. It's really, really cool. Okay, we're gonna draw the winner of the giveaway because my wife is about to start. She's gonna start killing me. It's not gonna be pretty. All right, she'll do something nasty to me. All right, I gotta draw the winner to the giveaway. Where is that screen? I have to find the right screen for that. Ooh. You don't want your wife to kill you. It's bad. All right, let's see. All right, I found it. Winners. Drawing the winners now. Drawing the winners. Oh, there we go. I got witnesses, Luke. Witnesses. Oh, that's true. Yeah, but dude, I got to end the stream eventually, and then there are no witnesses. Okay, MC Tasman, you have won, dude. You have won. I will hook you up, man. I'll send you an email when I get a moment. So, congratulations, dude. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. We're done. I'll see you tomorrow. Actually, I won't see you tomorrow. I'll see you Saturday. I'll have a video come out on Saturday. Simpatico says, if I bring you booze on Sunday, can I get the leather bounds for free? He's trying to bribe me. My friend Trevor is trying to bribe me. That is so not appropriate, Trevor. I have to be moral and upright, above bribing, especially out in public. Talk to me afterwards. All right, I'm out of here, guys. We'll see you later. I gotta find some buttons to push, and then I'm done. Uh-oh. Goodbye, everybody. I'm done now. I'm leaving.